You think being open and honest is the path to spiritual growth. But what if I told you that certain truths, when spoken to the wrong ears, become weapons turned against your very soul? What if the very transparency you believe connects you to others is actually creating energetic doorways for forces that feed on your light, your power, your sacred essence? Most people walking the spiritual path have been taught that authenticity means sharing everything: your struggles, your breakthroughs, your deepest realizations. They've been conditioned to believe that vulnerability equals connection, that openness equals growth. But here's what no one tells you. There are secrets so potent, so charged with your personal frequency, that revealing them to the wrong consciousness doesn't just expose you. It literally hands over the keys to your energetic kingdom. You are living in a reality where energy is currency, where information is power, and where certain people exist as spiritual vampires, unconsciously, and sometimes consciously, feeding off the sacred truths you so innocently share. These aren't monsters hiding in the shadows. These are your co-workers, your family members, your friends, the people who smile to your face while secretly cataloging every piece of spiritual gold you drop into conversation. But here's the thing most people miss entirely. The universe operates on frequencies of resonance, and protection isn't just about setting boundaries with toxic people. True spiritual protection comes from understanding that some truths are so sacred, so powerful, that they must be held in the vault of your consciousness until you encounter someone vibrating at the exact frequency needed to receive them safely. This isn't about paranoia. This isn't about living in fear. This is about understanding the quantum nature of information itself, how certain revelations, when spoken aloud, create energetic imprints in the field that can be accessed, manipulated, and used by consciousness that doesn't have your highest good at heart. Every word you speak carries frequency. Every truth you reveal leaves an energetic signature in the morphic field that surrounds all human consciousness. When you share sacred information with someone whose consciousness operates at a lower frequency than the information itself, you create what quantum physicists call destructive interference, where two waves meet and cancel each other out, diminishing the power of both. But when you share that same sacred truth with consciousness that can match or amplify its frequency, you create constructive interference, where waves combine to become more powerful than either could be alone. This is why the ancient mystery schools were so careful about initiation levels, why spiritual traditions have always maintained levels of inner and outer teachings, why the most profound truths have always been transmitted only between teacher and prepared student. You've felt this before, haven't you? That moment after sharing something deeply personal when you suddenly feel exposed, drained, like something precious has been taken from you. That uncomfortable sensation that happens when you reveal a breakthrough or insight, and the person listening responds with subtle dismissal, competitive energy, or worse. They begin using your own wisdom against you in ways that feel sickeningly familiar. What you experienced in those moments wasn't your imagination. It was the actual energetic consequence of sharing sacred information with someone whose consciousness couldn't hold the frequency of what you revealed. And in that mismatch, something beautiful became something that could be weaponized against your spiritual growth. Let me be clear about something that might challenge everything you've been taught about spiritual community and authentic relating. Not everyone who appears interested in your journey is qualified to receive the deeper truths of your experience. Not everyone who asks how you've changed, what you've learned, what you've discovered deserves access to the sacred downloads you've worked so hard to integrate. There are people walking through your life right now who function as energetic collectors. gathering spiritual intel not to celebrate your growth, but to understand how to dim your light, how to pull you back into the frequencies they're comfortable with, how to use your own realizations to create doubt, confusion, or spiritual disempowerment in your field. These energetic collectors operate in ways that are often so subtle you might not even recognize what's happening. They'll ask seemingly innocent questions about your spiritual practices, your beliefs, your experiences. They'll listen with apparent interest as you share your breakthroughs and insights. But something about their presence feels draining. Something about their questions feels extractive rather than celebratory. They might respond to your spiritual sharing with subtle dismissal disguised as concern. Are you sure that wasn't just your imagination? Or, don't you think you might be reading too much into that? Or, I'm worried you're getting too caught up in all this spiritual stuff. These responses aren't coming from genuine care. They're coming from an unconscious need to pull you back into the limited reality they feel comfortable inhabiting. Some of these energetic collectors are more sophisticated. They'll mirror your spiritual language, show interest in your practices, even claim to have similar experiences. But you can feel the difference. There's something hollow about their engagement, something that feels like they're studying you rather than connecting with you. They're gathering information about your spiritual life, not to deepen their own understanding, but to find ways to influence, manipulate, or control your spiritual development. This is where everything changes when you understand that discretion isn't the opposite of authenticity. It's the ultimate expression of spiritual maturity. The most powerful people, the most protected consciousness, the ones who maintain their frequency regardless of what's happening around them. They know exactly what to share, when to share it, and most importantly, what must remain sacred and protected within the temple of their inner knowing. Every piece of information you share creates what scientists call a morphic resonance, an energetic pattern that continues to exist in the field even after the words have been spoken. When you share sacred information with someone who can't hold its frequency, you're not just giving them access to your personal experience, you're creating a distortion in the morphic field around that information that can affect your ability to access it clearly in the future. Think about this. Have you ever shared a powerful spiritual experience with someone, only to find that when you try to recall that experience later, it feels somehow diminished, less real, harder to access? This isn't memory failure. This is the actual effect of having shared sacred information with consciousness that couldn't hold its energetic integrity. So let's dive deep into the specific secrets that must be guarded with your life. The revelations that, when shared carelessly, can create energetic doorways for spiritual interference, manipulation, and the slow erosion of everything you've worked to build in your consciousness. The first secret you must never reveal carelessly is your personal spiritual practices and the specific ways you connect with higher consciousness. When you share the details of your meditation techniques, your ritual work, your prayer practices, your specific methods for accessing non-ordinary states of awareness, you're literally giving others a map to your most sacred inner landscape. Here's what happens energetically when you reveal these practices to someone who isn't vibrating at your frequency. They begin, often unconsciously, to interfere with your connection to Source. They might judge your methods, plant seeds of doubt about their effectiveness, or worse, they might begin practicing these same techniques, but from a lower frequency, which creates interference patterns in the morphic field around these practices. You've experienced this before. You share your morning ritual with someone, and suddenly your practice feels flat, disconnected, less powerful. You describe your specific way of accessing guidance, and then find yourself questioning whether it's real, whether it's working, whether you're just making it up. This isn't coincidence. This is energetic interference created by sharing sacred methodology with consciousness that can't hold the frequency of what you're doing. When you share your spiritual practices with others, you're not just revealing technique. You're exposing the energetic signature of your personal relationship with the divine. Every spiritual practice you've developed contains the unique frequency of your soul's connection to source consciousness. When someone who isn't operating at your frequency learns about these practices, they gain access to the energetic pathways you've spent years developing and refining. Think of your spiritual practices like the passwords to your inner sanctuary. Each technique, each ritual, each method of connection you've developed over years of dedicated practice represents a unique key to accessing specific states of consciousness, specific frequencies of divine connection. When you share these passwords with someone who hasn't developed the spiritual maturity to use them responsibly, you're essentially giving them access to sacred spaces within your consciousness. But here's what's even more concerning. When someone begins using your spiritual practices without having done the inner work to develop the proper container for them, they often encounter energies, experiences, or states of consciousness they're not prepared to handle. Their fear, confusion, or misinterpretation of these experiences creates ripples in the morphic field around these practices that can actually interfere with your own ability to access them clearly. You might find that after sharing a powerful practice with someone, the next time you engage in that practice yourself, it feels somehow different, less potent, less clear, clouded with energies that don't belong to your pure connection with the divine. This isn't your imagination. This is the actual energetic consequence of having shared sacred technology with consciousness that couldn't hold its frequency properly. The most protected spiritual practitioners keep their specific practices completely private, sharing only general principles with others while keeping the detailed, personal, powerful techniques locked away in the sacred vault of their individual relationship with the divine. The second secret that must be protected at all costs is your financial breakthroughs and the specific ways money flows to you. The moment you begin sharing details about unexpected income, business successes, manifestation wins, or the particular ways abundance shows up in your life, you activate the jealousy frequency in others. And jealousy is one of the most destructive energetic forces that can be directed at your field. But it's deeper than jealousy. When you reveal the mechanisms of how abundance flows to you, you're actually sharing the energetic signature of your prosperity consciousness. And people who are struggling with money, who are operating from scarcity, who haven't done their own work around deservingness and abundance, they unconsciously begin to interfere with your flow. They start making subtle comments about your success, questioning whether you deserve it, suggesting that maybe you're being materialistic or losing your spiritual way. These aren't innocent observations. These are energetic attacks on the very consciousness that allows abundance to flow freely through your experience. When you share your abundance wins with people operating from scarcity consciousness, they begin to unconsciously study your success to see if they can replicate it without doing the inner work that actually creates sustainable prosperity. They want the external results without the internal transformation, and their attempts to copy your methods from a lower frequency create interference in the very field that's generating your abundance. This is one of the most insidious forms of energetic interference because it often comes disguised as admiration or support. People will congratulate you on your financial success while simultaneously harboring unconscious resentment, jealousy, or feelings of unworthiness. These mixed emotions create what quantum field theorists call energetic static, interference patterns that can actually disrupt the flow of abundance in your life. But there's an even deeper layer to this dynamic. When you share details about how money flows to you, you're revealing the specific energetic pathways through which abundance moves in your life. Someone operating from scarcity consciousness who learns about these pathways might unconsciously begin to interfere with them, not out of malice but out of their own unhealed relationship with money. They might make comments like, "You're so lucky," or "I wish I had your advantages," or "Money just seems to come so easily to you." These comments might seem harmless, but they carry the energetic signature of scarcity thinking, and when that energy is directed toward your abundance, it can create blocks, delays, or complications in your financial flow. The most successful people understand this intuitively. They celebrate their financial wins privately, often with just one or two trusted people who have proven their ability to genuinely celebrate others' success without diminishment. They keep their abundance practices completely confidential, and they never discuss the specific mechanisms through which money flows to them with anyone who hasn't demonstrated their own healthy relationship with prosperity. Now, what I'm sharing with you today about sacred discernment barely scratches the surface of what's possible when you understand the complete quantum framework of consciousness mastery. If you're feeling the depth of what we're exploring here, you'll find layers upon layers of understanding in my complete guide Beyond the Frequencies, where I reveal the 9 master frequencies that govern reality creation and the step-by-step practices for becoming the conscious broadcast, rather than unconsciously transmitting survival static. It's linked in the pinned comment below. The wealthiest, most financially free people understand this instinctively. They celebrate their wins privately, they keep their abundance practices sacred, and they never, ever share the specific details of how money shows up in their lives with anyone who hasn't proven their ability to celebrate others' success without experiencing their own diminishment. Money is energy. When you share your abundance secrets with someone who can't hold the frequency of prosperity, you literally invite scarcity consciousness into your financial field. Guard these revelations like the precious energetic treasures they are. The third secret you must protect is any detailed information about your intimate relationships, your romantic life, your deep partnerships, and especially the spiritual connections you share with significant others. The moment you begin sharing the beautiful, transcendent, deeply connected experiences you have with your partner, you activate comparison, longing, and unconscious interference from others who aren't experiencing that level of connection. But here's what's even more dangerous. When you share the challenges, the growth edges, the places where you and your partner are working through difficulties, you literally invite other people's opinions, judgments, and unconscious projections into the sacred container of your relationship. People will begin offering advice based on their own unhealed patterns. They'll start suggesting that maybe your partner isn't right for you, or that you deserve better, or that the challenges you're facing are red flags. These aren't helpful insights. These are energetic intrusions that can create doubt, confusion, and actual disruption in the field between you and your beloved. When you share intimate details about your relationship with people who aren't experiencing that level of connection themselves, you're essentially feeding their unconscious longing while simultaneously depleting the energetic resources of your own partnership. Your relationship becomes entertainment, fantasy material, or a source of vicarious experience for people who haven't done the work to create that level of intimacy in their own lives. The most protected, most thriving relationships exist in a sacred bubble, where the intimate details, both beautiful and challenging, are held only between the partners and perhaps a very select few consciousness who have proven their ability to hold space without projecting their own stuff into the dynamic. Your relationship is a sacred container for growth, healing, and love. When you reveal too much about what happens inside that container, you break its energetic seal and invite interference from consciousness that has no business influencing the sacred work happening between you and your partner. Now pause for a moment and breathe into what's being revealed here. Feel into your own experience of sharing too much, too soon, with people who weren't equipped to hold the frequency of what you were offering. Notice the subtle drain, the sense of exposure, the way your energy shifted after these exchanges. If this understanding is shifting something fundamental in how you see spiritual protection, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You're clearly ready for this level of consciousness work. This is real. This is measurable. This is affecting your spiritual protection and your ability to maintain the frequency you've worked so hard to cultivate. The fourth secret that must be zealously protected is your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities, your intuitive capacities, and especially any experiences you've had with non-ordinary reality, channeling, energy healing, or direct communication with higher consciousness. The moment you reveal these gifts to someone who operates purely from a materialist worldview, or worse, someone who has spiritual gifts but uses them unconsciously or manipulatively, you open yourself up to psychic attack, energetic interference, and the systematic undermining of your confidence in your own abilities. Here's what happens. They'll question your experiences, suggest you might be delusional or making things up, or they'll become intensely curious about your abilities in a way that feels extractive rather than celebratory. Some people will ask you to prove your gifts, to demonstrate them, to use them for their benefit. Others will become competitive, trying to one-up your experiences or diminish their significance. But the most dangerous response is when someone who has their own spiritual abilities but hasn't developed proper ethical containers around them becomes interested in how you access your gifts. They might unconsciously begin to interfere with your energy, to test your abilities, to see if they can influence or manipulate your intuitive perceptions. Psychic abilities and spiritual gifts operate through very delicate energetic channels that can be easily disrupted by the wrong kind of attention. When you share details about your gifts with someone who can't hold space for that level of consciousness, their skepticism, fear, or competitive energy creates actual interference in the channels through which your abilities flow. You might notice that after sharing a psychic experience with someone who responded with doubt or dismissal, your intuitive abilities feel clouded or less accessible for days or even weeks afterward. This isn't loss of ability. It's energetic interference that requires time and specific practices to clear. The most protected psychics, healers, channels, and intuitives keep their gifts private until they're in the presence of someone who has proven their integrity, their ethical development, and their ability to celebrate others' spiritual capacities without feeling diminished or threatened. Your spiritual gifts are sacred. They're meant to serve the highest good, not to be entertainment, proof, or objects of curiosity for people who haven't done their own work to develop discernment and ethical spiritual practice. The fifth secret you must guard carefully is your healing journey, your trauma recovery, your therapeutic breakthroughs, and especially the specific modalities, practitioners, or methods that have created profound shifts in your consciousness. When you share these details with people who haven't done their own healing work, you activate their unhealed patterns and invite them to unconsciously undermine your progress. They might suggest that you're dwelling in the past, that you should just get over it, that you're making yourself a victim by focusing on healing. Or they might become intensely interested in your healing process in a way that feels voyeuristic, feeding off the drama and intensity of your transformation without doing any of their own inner work. But here's the most subtle and dangerous response. They might begin offering their own opinions about your healing process, suggesting that maybe your practitioner isn't helping, that you've been in therapy too long, that you should try what worked for them instead. These seemingly helpful suggestions are actually energetic intrusions that can create doubt, confusion, and interference with your healing process. Every breakthrough, every integration, every moment of healing creates a specific energetic frequency that continues to support your wholeness long after the initial experience. When you share the details of your healing journey with someone who can't hold space for that frequency, their doubt, judgment, or advice creates interference patterns that can actually slow down or complicate your continued healing. Healing is sacred work. The practitioners, methods, and breakthroughs that have contributed to your wholeness deserve to be protected from the projections, opinions, and unhealed energy of people who aren't qualified to offer guidance about your inner transformation. The sixth secret that requires absolute protection is your future plans, your dreams, your visions, and especially any goals that represent significant expansion, creative expression, or spiritual mission. The moment you share a dream that's still germinating in your consciousness with someone who operates from limitation, fear, or unconscious competition, you literally invite interference into the manifestation process. They'll tell you all the reasons it won't work, all the obstacles you'll face, all the ways you might fail. They'll share stories about people who tried similar things and didn't succeed. They'll ask questions that seem practical, but are actually designed to poke holes in your vision before it's strong enough to withstand that kind of scrutiny. But more subtly, they might become unconsciously invested in your dream not manifesting because your expansion represents a threat to their comfortable, limited worldview. If you succeed at something they believe is impossible, it challenges their entire reality structure. And most people will unconsciously work to prevent that challenge rather than expand their own consciousness. Dreams and visions exist first as pure energetic potential in the quantum field. In their early stages, they're incredibly malleable and susceptible to influence from other consciousness. When you share a vision with someone who can't hold the frequency of that possibility, their doubt literally affects the probability patterns in the field around your dream. This is why so many people find that their biggest dreams and most exciting visions seem to lose steam after they share them with others. It's not that the dreams weren't valid, it's that they were shared with consciousness that couldn't hold space for their possibility, which created interference in the very field that was organizing to support their manifestation. Dreams in their early stages are like seeds that need to be protected, nurtured, and allowed to develop strong roots before they can withstand exposure to other people's energy. Share your visions only with people who have proven their ability to celebrate expansion, to hold space for possibilities, and to offer support without attachment to outcomes. If this resonates with something deep inside you, if you're recognizing patterns where your openness has led to energetic drain or interference, then take a moment and comment below with this phrase: I choose sacred discernment. This isn't just a comment. It's an energetic declaration to the field that you're stepping into a new level of spiritual protection and conscious communication. The seventh secret that must be closely guarded is your daily routine, your schedule, your patterns of movement, and especially the times and places where you do your most important spiritual, creative, or healing work. When you reveal too much about your daily rhythms, you literally give others energetic access to your most vulnerable and powerful moments. People who operate as energetic vampires, whether consciously or unconsciously, will begin to time their contact with you during your most open, receptive, or creative periods. They'll call when you're meditating, text when you're in flow state, or show up energetically when you're doing deep spiritual work. Your daily rhythms create energetic patterns that actually amplify your connection to higher consciousness. When you do the same spiritual practice at the same time each day in the same space, you're creating what quantum physicists call a standing wave, a stable energetic pattern that becomes stronger and more coherent over time. When you share the details of these routines with others, you're essentially inviting their energy into these carefully constructed patterns. Their thoughts about your schedule, their opinions about your practices, their expectations about your availability. All of this creates interference in the standing waves you've worked so hard to establish. But there's something even more subtle happening here that most people never recognize. Your daily routine isn't just about the activities you do. It's about the energetic rhythm you create, the way you move through different states of consciousness throughout the day, the specific timing of when you're most open to receiving guidance, most creative, most connected to Source. When you reveal too much about these rhythms, people begin to unconsciously sync their energy with yours during these times. They might think about you during your meditation time, send you mental energy during your creative work, or expect responses from you during your times of spiritual practice. This energetic interference can significantly diminish the power and clarity of your most sacred practices. Some people will even begin to unconsciously test your boundaries during these times. They'll call or text when they sense you're in deep spiritual work, not necessarily out of malice, but because they can feel the powerful energy you're generating and are unconsciously drawn to it. This is why the most protected people keep their spiritual routines completely private. They understand that these times are too sacred and too important to be interrupted by others' energy, no matter how well-intentioned. The most successful, most protected, most energetically sovereign people keep their daily rhythms private. They don't share when they wake up, when they do their spiritual practice, when they do their most important work, or where they go to recharge and connect with higher consciousness. The eighth secret you must protect is your personal relationship with money, your beliefs about wealth, your financial fears or insecurities, and especially any limiting beliefs you're actively working to transform. When you share your money story with people who haven't done their own work around abundance, you activate their scarcity programming and invite them to reinforce the very patterns you're trying to heal. Every belief you hold about money, every emotion you associate with wealth, every story you tell yourself about what's possible financially, all of this creates a specific energetic signature that determines how money can flow to you. When you share your financial fears or limitations with others, you're essentially broadcasting these patterns into the morphic field, where they can be amplified and reflected back to you by others who hold similar patterns. Money consciousness is delicate and powerful. It requires protection, nurturing, and careful cultivation. Share your financial journey only with people who have proven their ability to hold space for prosperity without judgment, fear, or unconscious sabotage. The ninth secret that demands absolute protection is your spiritual experiences, your mystical encounters, your moments of direct knowing, and especially any communications or downloads you've received from higher consciousness. These experiences are sacred gifts that contain specific frequencies and information meant for your unique path of development. Mystical experiences exist in a realm of consciousness that operates by completely different laws than ordinary reality. These experiences are meant to expand your consciousness, to give you direct access to wisdom and guidance that can't be accessed through the rational mind alone. When you share these experiences with consciousness that operates purely from the rational mind, you're essentially asking that consciousness to process something that exists beyond its capacity to understand. In their attempt to make sense of what you've shared, they'll often reduce your mystical experience to psychological phenomena, coincidence, or wishful thinking. Mystical experiences often contain specific guidance, insights, or downloads that are meant specifically for your path. When you share these with others, you're essentially giving them access to guidance that wasn't meant for them, while simultaneously diluting the potency of the guidance for yourself. Mystical experiences are meant to be integrated privately, allowed to work their magic in the depths of your consciousness before being shared, if ever, with others. The most spiritually developed people keep their direct experiences with the divine completely private, sharing only the wisdom and insights that emerge from integration, and only with others who have proven their spiritual maturity. The 10th and most crucial secret you must guard with your life is your specific methods for maintaining spiritual protection, clearing negative energy, and shielding yourself from psychic interference. These techniques are your spiritual immune system, your energetic armor, your methods for maintaining frequency coherence in a world full of chaotic and draining energies. The moment you reveal your protection practices to someone who operates as an energetic vampire, you literally give them the information they need to circumvent your defenses. They learn exactly what you're protecting against, which tells them exactly what vulnerabilities to target. They discover what methods you use, which allows them to consciously or unconsciously develop interference patterns. Spiritual protection works the same way as physical security. The moment someone knows exactly how your security system works, they have the information they need to bypass it. Your specific methods for clearing energy, shielding your field, and maintaining spiritual boundaries are like passwords for your energetic security system. The most protected people, the ones who maintain their frequency regardless of what's happening around them, keep their spiritual protection methods completely secret. They might share general principles about the importance of energetic boundaries, but they never reveal the specific practices, visualizations, prayers, or techniques they use to maintain their spiritual sovereignty. Your protection practices are sacred technology for maintaining your connection to higher consciousness. Guard them like the precious spiritual treasures they are. I'm curious, what moment in your spiritual journey made you realize that not everyone could hold space for your authentic truth? Share that awakening below, because your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Now breathe into this deeper understanding of spiritual discretion. Feel how different it is from secrecy born of fear or shame. This is sacred protection, conscious discernment, the mature understanding that not all information is meant for all people, that wisdom includes knowing what to share and what to keep sacred. If you're feeling the power of conscious discernment, if this understanding of sacred privacy is touching something deep inside your knowing, then I invite you to subscribe not just to this channel, but to this frequency of spiritual maturity. This space where we understand that protection and openness can coexist. This movement of consciousness that knows the difference between authentic vulnerability and unconscious exposure. Notice how different this feels from the spiritual bypassing that suggests you should share everything with everyone, that boundaries are unspiritual, that protection is based in fear. True spiritual development includes the cultivation of discernment, the understanding that some truths are so sacred they must be held in the proper containers to maintain their power and purity. The people in your life who are truly qualified to receive your deepest truths, your sacred secrets, your most profound realizations, these people prove their worthiness not by asking for access, but by demonstrating through their actions, their frequency, their own spiritual development, that they can hold space for your light without diminishing it. Celebrate your growth without feeling threatened, and support your expansion without trying to control or direct it. But here's what changes everything. When you stop sharing your sacred truths with people who aren't qualified to receive them, you begin to discover who in your life is actually operating at a frequency that can hold space for your authentic self. The relationships that can't survive your new level of discernment weren't strong enough to support your continued growth anyway. And in the space that opens up when you stop energetically bleeding through unconscious oversharing, something beautiful begins to happen. Your inner voice gets stronger. Your intuition becomes clearer. Your connection to higher consciousness deepens. Your manifestation abilities expand. Your spiritual protection becomes impenetrable. You begin to operate from a place of energetic sovereignty where you choose consciously what to share, when to share it, and with whom. You become a mystery to people who are used to having access to all your inner landscape. You develop a powerful presence that comes from containing your energy rather than spilling it everywhere. This is not about becoming closed off, secretive, or disconnected from authentic relationship. This is about becoming so clear in your discernment that you can offer your full presence without offering your sacred information to anyone who hasn't proven their ability to hold it with reverence, respect, and spiritual maturity. The most magnetic, most powerful, most spiritually protected people are those who have learned to be completely present and authentic while maintaining clear, energetic boundaries around what they share and what they keep sacred. They offer their energy, their attention, their love freely while keeping their most precious insights, experiences, and practices protected within the sanctuary of their own consciousness. This is the paradox of spiritual maturity. The more you protect what is sacred, the more available you become for authentic connection. The more you guard your secrets, the more genuine intimacy becomes possible. The more you contain your energy, the more powerful your presence becomes. So as we integrate this understanding together, I want you to reflect on your own patterns of sharing. Think about the times you felt drained after opening up, the moments when revealing something precious led to confusion rather than connection, the relationships where your transparency was met with judgment, competition, or subtle undermining. Consider sharing this video with someone who you sense is ready for this level of spiritual discernment. When you share these quantum consciousness principles, you create an energetic ripple that expands collective awareness, while simultaneously reinforcing your own mastery of these sacred boundaries. These weren't failures of communication or authenticity. These were learning experiences designed to teach you the sacred art of discernment, the spiritual practice of conscious sharing, the mature understanding that not everyone who seems interested in your journey is qualified to receive the deeper truths of your experience. And here's the beautiful thing that happens when you begin to practice sacred discernment. The right people begin to appear in your life. The consciousness that can hold space for your authentic truth begins to magnetize toward you. The relationships that support your continued expansion become stronger, while the ones that were unconsciously limiting your growth naturally fall away. You become like a tuning fork that only resonates with frequencies that can match your own level of spiritual development. You stop attracting energetic vampires, spiritual competitors, and unconscious projectors because you're no longer offering the energetic openings they feed on. Your presence becomes so clear, so contained, so powerfully centered that people can feel immediately whether they're in the presence of someone who can match their frequency or whether they need to step up their own spiritual development to be able to relate to you authentically. This is not spiritual elitism. This is not superiority or judgment. This is the natural result of developing energetic boundaries that protect your spiritual development while remaining completely open to authentic connection with those who can meet you at your frequency. Now, as we come to the completion of this transmission, I want you to feel into the space that opens up when you commit to sacred discernment. Notice how much energy becomes available when you're not unconsciously bleeding your power through oversharing. Feel how much clearer your inner guidance becomes when it's not being clouded by other people's opinions about your sacred experiences. This is your invitation to step into a new level of spiritual sophistication, a mature understanding that protection and love are not opposites, but perfect partners in the dance of conscious relationship. The more you honor the sacred nature of your inner landscape, the more available you become for the kind of deep, authentic connection your soul truly desires. As you integrate this understanding, as you begin to practice conscious discernment in your daily interactions, you might notice some people becoming confused or even resistant to your new boundaries. This is normal. This is part of the process. The people who were unconsciously feeding off your energetic openness will notice immediately when that source is no longer available. But here's what I want you to remember. Their discomfort with your boundaries is information about their frequency, not a sign that you should lower your standards for what you share and with whom. The right people, the ones who are meant to be in your life for the long term, will celebrate your spiritual maturity and meet you at this new level of conscious relating. Take a moment right now and drop one word in the comments that captures the energy you're choosing as you step into this new level of sacred discernment. This isn't just feedback. It's your energetic signature to the quantum field, your declaration that you're ready to operate from spiritual maturity rather than unconscious exposure. Your word becomes part of the morphic field we're creating together, a field of consciousness that understands the sacred art of discernment, that knows how to protect what's precious while remaining open to authentic connection. And if this understanding of sacred discretion, conscious boundaries, and spiritual protection is resonating in your cells, if you're feeling the power of choosing what to share and what to keep sacred, then I invite you to subscribe, not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent with this frequency of spiritual sovereignty. Because here's the truth that most people never understand. The more of us who embody conscious discernment, who practice sacred protection, who understand the difference between authentic vulnerability and unconscious exposure, the more the world reflects that level of spiritual maturity. We become the permission structure for others to develop their own discernment, to trust their own inner knowing about what to share and what to keep sacred. We model what it looks like to be completely present and authentic while maintaining clear, energetic boundaries. This is how consciousness evolves, not through everyone sharing everything with everyone, but through enough people developing the spiritual sophistication to know what serves authentic connection and what serves unconscious energy exchange. Your commitment to sacred discernment is a gift not just to yourself, but to the collective consciousness. It raises the frequency of what's possible in human relationship. It demonstrates that we can be deeply connected without being energetically merged, authentically vulnerable without being spiritually exposed. So guard your secrets well. Protect what is sacred. Choose consciously what you share and with whom. And watch how this simple shift in discernment transforms not just your spiritual protection, but your entire experience of authentic relationship and conscious community. The ones who stay spiritually safe are indeed the ones who know what not to say. But more than that, they're the ones who know what to say, when to say it, and to whom. They're the ones who understand that sacred information deserves sacred containers, that precious truths require worthy recipients, that some secrets are so powerful they must be guarded with love, wisdom, and unshakable discernment. This is your path now. This is your practice. This is your protection. And in choosing it, You choose not just safety, but power. Not just boundaries, but authentic intimacy. Not just protection, but the kind of spiritual sovereignty that allows you to show up fully in the world while keeping your most sacred truths held safely in the temple of your own awakened consciousness. Let this be your way forward. Let this be your new standard. Let this be the beginning of a completely different relationship with what you share, what you protect, and what you hold as sacred in the sanctuary of your spiritual development. The secret is no longer what to reveal, but what to keep sacred. And in that keeping, you discover not isolation, but the deepest intimacy possible. Intimacy with your own soul, your own guidance, your own unshakable connection to the divine intelligence that lives within you always. Now, understanding what you say literally reinforces what you see in your reality, becomes crucial for maintaining these sacred boundaries. In my next exploration, the observer voice. What you say reinforces what you see. We dive deep into how your words become the programming language for your quantum field, and why mastering this observer voice is essential for anyone ready to consciously create rather than unconsciously manifest.